So last week we discovered it was Agatha all along.
King of the Beeze.
What's up, gang, and welcome back to another edition of Road Trippin with the Rudes.
Hi guys, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Rudes Real Review of Wandavision. If this is your first time, thank you so much. Please be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video. If you've been riding with us all along, thank you so much. Please be sure to comment down below so that we know you're there. I will tell you this much. We have been loving all of the feedback and the engagement from everybody.
Yeah.
There are so many people to shout out and so many people that have given us new ideas and new theories.
That's
so,
right.
You know, the Road Warriors, we love you guys.
Mm-hmm. So, in today's edition, we're going to be talking about Previously On, Episode 8 of Wandavision.
Right. So, guys, if this is your first time joining us, two things. One, we don't discuss anything until we get with you. And two, we do complete reviews, spoilers. So, we have someone with us. You probably can't see him, but it's Loki. Shout out to Senor Scratchy. So, he's with us. Episode 7, you felt was like a filler episode, right? Or you weren't?
Yeah, I wasn't too enthused until about the last 4 or 5 minutes.
I mean, that's how they always keep you going in, right?
Yeah.
So, this episode, man, first of all, it starts off in 1693 Salem. So, shout out to all the people that were saying when Agatha, right, at the time Agnes, was saying that her anniversary was June 2nd. Everyone was like, oh, that was, you know, during the time of the Salem witch trial. So clearly, you know, it's tying her back to her Agatha Harkness. And Agatha Harkness was, she was originally seen in the Scarlet Witch comics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it?
And Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I was going to say, when was her first debut? Do you know?
No.
Was it House of M? Comment down below if you guys know. So, we see Agatha Harkness on the stake, and we see a bunch of women. So, now there was a leak where if you were online on social media, you kind of saw those scenes.
Oh, yeah.
But we really didn't know what was going down.
Right.
It was like, okay, was she a witch and the townspeople burned her? Plot twist. She was actually being accused by her coven of using magic beyond her age, is what they said.
Dark magic. And
dark magic.
Stole magic above her age and basically her skill.
Yes. So the thing is, she's there, and the head of the coven is like, you know, why did you do it? And she tries to play innocent. She tries to play coy. That scene reminded me of like when Vision pulled up on her Volvo. Oh
yeah. But back up though, because when they said that to her, that made me think of Doctor Strange right away with the book missing.
Yes. Yes.
There's a book missing in the Doctor Strange movie, and Agatha has a book in her basement. So is that the book is that the, you know, dark magic that they're talking about?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. The way that Marvel works is just so amazing, and you can connect the dots. If you go back to, you know, big shout out to @Dominique Brown on Instagram. I know that she like watched all of the Marvel movies in order, and some of that we did a few months back. But if you go back to Spider-Man Far From Home, one of his teachers is obsessed with witchcraft, right?
Yeah.
And we know that WandaVision takes place right before Far From Home.
Yep.
And when there is that scene where they're watching the news and he says, oh, the witches are back.
Yeah.
Right? When we watched it the first time, we're like, what witches? What is he talking about? Like, he's super bugging.
Yep.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
The book missing from Doctor Strange, you know, many, many moons ago when we watched it, now makes sense.
Right.
It's all tied in. So kudos to them for that. So they're asking her questions, and she's trying to play coy, and then finally she says, I didn't break your rules. They simply bend to my powers. So she was feeling herself. So boom, they hit her.
But first though, I feel like Agatha or Agnes, whatever you want to say, wanted the witches to teach her. Well,
she says that during the thing, right?
Yeah.
She's like, show me, show me, show me. But then she finally is like, I didn't break the rules. They simply bent to my power. And then she looks at them and she goes, I cannot control it.
Right.
Very similar to Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Right? Scarlet Witch said throughout this whole time, well, very similar to, let me back that train up, very similar to Wanda in this series. And what you see them is them hit her with blue magic. So the witches start chanting. She's still like, please, please. And she's saying, please, mother. And I don't know if it's like biological mother or mother of the coven, kind of like Catholic nuns, like that sister. These are my sisters and this is the mother. So I don't know. Comment down below if you know. But then they start hitting her with that blue magic. No relation to the blue magic grease that we've all used growing up. Shout out to them.
I thought it was the blue magic from, what's your man's name? Ooh. Denzel played him in the movie. American.
Yes, American Gangster. Frank Lucas.
I thought it was the Frank Lucas blue magic.
So they hit her with. Now the mother does not come at her with her power, right?
Yeah.
So she's letting the other witches do the light work as they are piercing through Agatha Harkness's body. You start to see the red, right? Like a fiery red, and red and blue make purple. So it's almost like she's like ingesting that. Okay. And then she starts pushing it back on them and it's coming out in purple. Right? Very Scarlet Witch-ish almost. Very photonish. And so she's pushing it back. So at this point, Agatha Harkness might have her own, strength, right?
And she's draining them.
She's draining them. So she takes their power, she kicks it back at them, boom, they all fall down. They're all dead, right? They immediately age like a gazillion years, right? So then she says to she says, Mom, please teach me. Kind of like, I can be redeemed. And she's like, you're for the streets. So then the mom raises up and then, all this blue power. Right? At this point, we think, okay, we know that Agatha Harkness survives this, but how? Right? Boom. She kills her mother. And that's where we see the brooch. She snatches the brooch off of her mother. Now, this all makes perfect sense if you think about it, because the brooch has multiple figures. And if you are the mother of a coven, you do have multiple figures. So we jump from Salem to the basement. And this is absolutely, I think, happening the same time if Snooper's going to snoop, because it's still Agnes, Jermaine and Jack. And so Agatha she's speaking to Senor Scratchy more than anything. But also she's speaking to Wanda. So it does, and you know what? When you look at the basement now, it looks very coven-ness looking, like, that dome shape, right?
Yeah.
And remember, we were like, wait a minute, how isn't her magic working? Marvel always listens, right? And so people were like, oh, was the basement outside of the hex? Yeah. No. What it was that each of those demonic figures over the arches are a part of Agatha's spell. So when you're the witch that does the spell, no other magic can be used. Yeah. So takes us back to Billy. That's why Agatha was quiet to Billy. His magic didn't work.
Yep.
So, she basically has a hex set up within her own, a hex within the dome. She's got her dome within the dome.
Yep.
And, she's got bars, Okay? I don't know who ghostwrites for Agatha, but she was coming at Wanda hard.
Yeah.
Right? Meanwhile, Wanda's like, I'm ready to use my magic. I am over it, right? She tries. Agatha says, you can't. Explains the domes and says, don't give yourself a migraine.
Yeah, trying to read me.
What were some of your favorite bars? Or what were
when she came at her about the accent.
Yes!
What she said, she mocked her. It was funny.
Boy, that accent comes and goes.
Yeah, but she mocked her, whatever she said to her. I forgot what it was.
She said, where are my children? And then...
She said, where are my children?
Yes!
That accent comes and goes.
That accent. She called her Toots.
Oh, yeah, Toots.
Like, very Alice Diner. I haven't heard that line in forever.
Yeah, Toots.
Yeah, she definitely had bars. And she kept mocking the children and I was waiting for her to say they weren't real.
Yeah.
I think she was working her way up to that.
But then she started talking to Wanda and was like, Wanda, you got all this magic. And you used it to bring back Vision, bring these kids here, and you don't even know your own power. Well, basically is what she was telling me.
She said, Wanda, you have all this magic and you are using it to do breakfast for dinner.
Oh, yeah, right.
First of all, simmer down.
I love breakfast for dinner,
Agatha,
by the way.
Because we love a good breakfast for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I can cook. I absolutely can.
Yeah, I felt like she came at me on that one.
But don't do it. So, yeah, she was definitely coming from two places. I think a part of her was like, no one taught me, so I want to teach you. Right?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
We also found out in this exchange that we were wondering if this was something that Agatha created, right? It was Agatha all along. No, Agatha felt the energy pull, right? And so she had to come see what was going on. So in that scene when it was Agatha and you see her just fly in, that was the first time of her coming to Westview.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, she was just dropping in.
Right.
Sidebar. How many of you have been singing It Was Agatha all along all week?
All week. Me.
All week.
For sure.
It was, I mean, that's like the catchiest hook ever.
Yep.
So we have that, and she's saying to her, like, you're not using your power, but then she's also offering to help her. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she's saying, you don't even know this. And she's showing her crickets and stuff. Like, I had to work very hard to do this.
Yeah, mind control on that, on the cicada. I think it was
you just did it, yes. The cicada, which, you know, online people were speculating are the cicadas, the children that have popped up. The dentist, the mailman, bring the cicadas to her in the fragile packaging from episode 7. So she's showing her these little things. Wanda's not impressed. Wanda doesn't care, right?
Right.
So then she hits her with the, you know, I tried to go the nice way. I tried to be gentle. I even bought back your fake dead brother, Pietro. Or Fietro, should I say.
Yeah, Fietro.
Guys,
yeah, those were some of the bars. She was killing.
They were crazy.
Yeah.
And guys, we actually have a friend where there's like an identical person to him. So we call that person the fake him. So like, let's just say his name is Sam. We call the fake version Fam. So when she said Fietro at 3 a.m., I was yelling.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Agatha is like one of us. Then she goes back. She says, listen, you want to play make-believe? I'm bringing you back to reality.
Yeah.
Boom, pops up the door.
Yeah. Yeah. She said if you want to do TV, if you want to do reruns, we're going to do a real-life rerun.
So at this point, she could have gone two ways. She could have showed her some dance moves from what's happening now with the rerun. But no, there is the door to their apartment in Sokovia.
What kind of vibes did you get from that? Like her doing that. Agatha doing that with Wanda.
So, you know, it was one of those of, are you trying to break her down so that you could be the one to build her up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Agatha's on some sick stuff. Like, is she the firefighter that starts a fire and then is the first on the scene?
But I got like, what's the movie with the ghost of Christmas Past? And
Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Scrooge.
Yeah. I felt like she was taking her back.
Because I think she thought in the long run that Wanda was going to be like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So that's the vibes I was getting.
She wanted to basically to bring about the same emotions that created Westview.
Yeah.
Now, this is... I did not expect this turn. Did you?
No.
No, I expected that we would see her parents.
Real quick, though. I expected action. This was not action. I honestly really don't think I needed this backstory. We already kind of figured this.
This is, first of all...
I'm ready to see Monica go off on somebody.
No, because WandaVision as a series is the first series that is serving as an origin story in series. Right? I don't think S.H.I.E.L.D. serves as an origin story.
It's two origin stories running parallel. Scarlet Witch and Monica Rambeau.
But I think it was very important for us to understand. We've heard Wanda say the story. We've never on film seen exactly what happened.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I didn't need it.
I needed it.
Yeah.
I wanted it, but didn't know it. I needed it, and I need more.
I knew it and didn't need it.
Listen.
I'm just saying.
But
it was okay.
When you delve back into the comic books and you do like the House of M series and so forth, there's so many different layers. I love the fact that the MCU is able to buffet style pick and choose the kind of most jaw-dropping moments and neatly pack them up for us.
Yeah.
In film form.
Yeah. So they pull up to the crib in Sokovia.
Her mom, who looks like the actress that has played in all the commercials.
Kinda.
So you see their humble abode. You see her mom. The dad comes in. The dad, I guess, was a vendor selling VHS tapes, right?
Bootlegger.
Yeah. He's selling VHS tapes. He opens up the case, and the mom's waiting, like, please let it be empty. Let you have made some money. And he said, maybe tomorrow. But tonight, we'll watch movies.
But he came in speaking Sokovian.
Yes.
And Pietro was like, hey, on TV nights,
it's English.
Speak English.
English, Papa. So you see the change. So they did a great job at explaining the accent. And let me just say, as we have British actors, if you have not seen our Judas and the Black Messiah review, we'll include that here. As we see English actors adapt an American accent to play various roles, it can easily be done, right? And so I think a lot of times when Wanda's caught off guard, she's, being her authentic self, and that's in comes the accent. He opens...
That's a good assessment, man.
Corey's accents are horrible, guys. Like, they're seriously horrible.
I just want some tea and crumpets.
No, what? What?
Crumpets.
Okay.
It's tea time.
What in the John Boyega is happening here? Like, I feel so bad.
It's tea time.
No, sorry, guys. Sorry in advance. So, we have the videos, right?
Yeah.
And then the father says, Wanda, you get to pick. Where's Wanda? And so that's where Agatha goes, it's your turn. And Wanda walks through the scene.
Still directing. That's what I felt like.
Agatha's still directing.
Yeah.
Wanda has her hoodie on, right? And she walks through and she becomes a child.
Yep.
And she says, my favorite isn't here. And he says, well, I put your favorite in a special place. So he goes to the wall and out comes Dick Van Dyke, which was what the first episode was all about. So I love the way Marvel compliments its fan base by saying, okay, you were right on this. You were right on that.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of, we missed one part. Let me go back real quick to the basement. She said something about the basement being bewitched.
Yes.
So big shout out to Tasha Love. She left a comment saying that the Agatha's house is the house from Bewitched.
Yes.
So for Agatha to drop that little gem saying, the basement, the bewitched basement, that was like perfect.
So guys, I will say this. How do we get through the week as we're waiting for the next episode? you guys.
Yeah.
Like, we wake up, we get to read the new comments, and that, like, researches it further.
Your theories and all that stuff, yeah.
I definitely just want to create an entire forum on our roadtripwiththeroots.com page. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But for now, thank you. Your comments are giving us life.
Yep.
So she
back
does
to
say the Bewitched.
Yep.
You then see the Dick Van Dyke Show, and you see Mary Tyler Moore's hair, which was identical to how Wanda wore her hair the first episode. It was just so sweet. And then...
Sidebar. That was the first time I seen the Dick Van Dyke Show right there in Wandavision. That was the most I've seen of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Because I know about the Mary Tyler Moore show, and I know about Rhoda and stuff.
Any of them.
But I didn't watch Dick Van Dyke Show. So I thought that was super sweet. Then, the father asks, which one? And she says, Season 2, Episode 21, the Walnut episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, after this, guys, we're going to search for Dick Van Dyke, and we now want to watch Season 2, Episode 21, the Walnut episode, to see what the connection is.
Yeah.
If we find anything, be sure to follow us on Instagram. We'll include that in our Instagram stories.
Yeah.
So, you then hear her, like, you see her getting lost in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
boom!
Just all of a sudden, guys. And it's the explosion that we know about from Wanda having said it in the past, but we never experienced it. And let me tell you something, that was devastating. And it's her and Pietro under rubble. She looks to where her parents would be. She clearly sees that they're gone. Then they see the Stark Industries bomb.
Shout out to Stark Industries.
Yep. Red ticking. Very similar to the toaster in episode 2.
Yep. So that's what I was getting to in these flashbacks. It seemed like the flashbacks that Agatha was taking her through correlated to the commercials.
Yes. Oh, so maybe the toaster was in episode 1.
Yeah.
We've got to go back because I just said episode 2, but it was episode 1.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then they hear voices. Very distinct American voices. And Wanda says, maybe they're here to help us. And they look, and it's the TV, right? And the TV is playing. So then Agnes is like, all right, that's enough. Pull it back.
Yeah.
And she says to her, how long were you there? She said, how did you disarm the bomb?
Right.
And she goes, I didn't.
Right.
It just didn't go off.
Right.
Meanwhile, before Agnes grabbed her, you see Wanda going towards the bomb. So I think Wanda did absorb the bomb.
Well, not absorb it. She said, Agatha says it was some type of hex. I can't remember the specific name, but she said you did a whatever hex. And it goes back to Monica Rambeau for me, right? It ties that together because before Monica went through the hex, she already had her powers, right? She was in that hospital. And we thought it was weird that she knocked old boy over so easily, right?
Yeah.
So she's already strong.
Yep.
When she hopped out of the rover, she ripped the door off of the rover, getting out of it.
Before re-entering the hex.
Before re-entering the hex.
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing with Wanda, right? Wanda put a hex on this bomb to keep it from blowing up, but she didn't know it.
Very Wizard of Oz, you had it all along, my dear, right?
Yeah.
But Wanda doesn't remember it that way. Wanda says, no, we were there. We were there for 2 days, until we were rescued.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where it was actually Wanda that saved them.
Yeah. Right.
So I think what happens is that Wanda's instinctive mode is to use her magic, which Agatha expresses. At one point in the episode, she says, you do this on autopilot,
right?
Mm-hmm. So, and I get it. I get what it's like for somebody to just be that gifted, and other people to have to work at it. You see, so here's the problem, ladies.
I just say yeah.
I was going to give a compliment, but I am going to keep it to myself.
Yo, I just said yeah. I'm agreeing with you.
No,
I didn't know where this was going.
He said it very arrogant.
I didn't know where this was going. But I know I have talents. So I just figured, I know exactly what you're talking about. But anywho. Go ahead.
Then she goes and flashes to the next door. What's behind door number 2?
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And
which is Hydra.
Hydra she goes, so your idea was to team up with an anti-freedom group?
So now that's the commercial in episode 2. The Strucker Watch.
Yes. Hydra.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Listen, I don't know how the think tanks do it. I don't know how they do it. But I am always amazed by them.
Mm-hmm.
So you then have her there with Hydra, and then you see...
They're testing.
You see Loki's staff, and you see it like kind of standalone, and Wanda's like in this like observation room, right? And then you see two guys standing over, and they're like, anyone that's even gone near it has died.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think one is like, how many people are we going to go through?
Yeah, how many people are we going to test?
But of course they don't say that to Wanda,
mm-hmm.
right? They have Wanda come in. And
they were like, go touch it. And she
opens.
She gets it out of the staff, brings it to her,
and
touches it, and boom, it's the Mind Stone.
Barehanded, right?
There, yep.
So very few Avengers can even interact with the stones, right? And we know
very few
Stark
entities, period.
Right. Stark had to make a gauntlet. Even when Thanos would get the stones, that was still a surge, and he would still have some damage.
Yep.
The Hulk almost took himself out of the game by doing the snap.
Yep, burned his arm.
So we know how strong she is just by virtue of knowing how strong the stones are. Right?
Yep.
She touches it, and boom, goes from blue to orange, which is the Mind Stone.
I'd say more yellow.
We're not playing these games, okay?
What?
Is it yellow?
Yeah.
Comment down below,
guys. The Soul Stone is orange.
Okay.
More orangish.
Okay. All right. So more yellow. So it's the Mind Stone, right?
Thank you.
And boom, shakalaka, we've got action, right?
Okay.
In Wanda's mind, that's when she became powerful, but she was already powerful.
Yeah.
Right? You had to be powerful to be able to even interact with that, but she didn't realize that at the time.
And Agatha tells her, oh, so that is what enhanced your abilities.
Agatha's watching this for the first time too, I think, or she's very good at acting, right?
Yeah.
So I think she's trying to help, again, as she's been doing, Wanda lead her out of her fantasy, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But Wanda is like, welcome, greetings from Deadpool, wish you weren't here, right?
Mm-hmm.
She does not want her here. So then we go to where she spends, and Agatha says this, oh, they go to the next door, oh, your first little space with Vision. And that's where they are when they're at the Avengers headquarters.
Yep.
And Wanda is sitting there, and before you even see Vision, she says, come in. She feels Vision. And this is very important because through it all, she's always said, I feel you. So she feels Vision.
Do you know why?
Yes, but
okay.
I want to put a pin on that.
Let me see it. Yeah.
I want to put a pin on that.
Yeah.
So he comes through the wall, and he's like, so Vision-like, and you hear the Jarvis in him, right? You hear the more robotic, and he says, I'm sorry, can I come in? And he starts talking to her, and they're sitting in front of the TV, in front of Malcolm in the Middle. And Hal is doing some project, gets slammed on, and he said, this is supposed to be funny, right?
Yeah.
And so he talks to Wanda about emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was amazing because, one, he genuinely curious, and two, really wanted to connect with her. And he said, I've never had a loved one to lose. But he's asking her about grief, and she said, it's a wave. It comes like in a big wave, and I feel as though I'm drowning. Because she had just lost Pietro. So, she had lost her parents, at 10. Very shortly after, within 10 years after, you know, she loses Pietro.
Which is wild because now Vision that's in the bubble, when he was talking to Darcy, he understood that. Because he was like, man, Wanda's been through all of this. Remember when he was talking to the camera?
Yes.
That's crazy.
So, you know, she says it comes in waves, and he said, you know, I never had a loved one to lose. But, you know, and in his Vision mind, he basically says, but I guess, what is love without preserving it? Right? So that is grief, right? Grief is love, wanting to preserve your love. That is grief.
Yeah.
So,
I liked how he said that.
Absolutely. And anybody that has, you know, been on the grief train knows what that's like. And so the Wanda describing the grief was amazing. I am in awe at the acting and writing for a series.
Yeah, this got to win a couple awards.
This really, for it to be, as people might not understand, what's the big deal? It's a comic. You know, people that don't get why it's #1 like worldwide and things like that. This is golden, and this is just one slither of it. I think
Catherine Hahn is the best one so far. She has played this Agatha role.
I think Darcy's amazing too.
Yeah, Darcy's good too.
Everybody really is. But
I feel like Catherine Hahn is really shining. Tiana Ferris also.
Yes. So then they go to the final door, right? This is your life, right? This is door number 4.
Yeah, this is your life.
And it is Wanda going in to Sword headquarters.
Yeah. Pull up.
Now, guys, this is post-resurface. So remember, Vision died. Wanda was snapped. Wanda comes back and immediately goes to Sword because she went to look for Vision and could not find him. Right? Hayward's having one heck of a week because shortly after Wanda, he's going to have to run into Monica. Right? So she comes to the front desk and she says, I know he's here. And, you know, the guy at the front desk is playing coy. She does not have time. Right? She says,
I'm here for the body.
No, she said, you know, she said it very clear. Like, he's not where he was. When I came back, I knew you had him. Right? And they call. And he's like, hold on, let me buzz you. And she said, no, I got it. Boom. Right? But still very playing her magic very close.
Yeah, but to me now, Hayward is trying to get her to activate Vision, in my opinion.
So here's why. I absolutely think so. You've got to think about it. Hayward shows her pieces of Vision being sawed and tinkered with.
And the way he's just watching her.
He's watching it, right? He's watching the screen and then watching her reaction. And he says to her, like very dismissive, you can't take this piece of equipment out, this weapon.
Yeah, $3 billion worth.
And she's like, it is not a weapon, you know? And Hayward, typical delusional, overprivileged person, says, it is my legal and ethical obligation. How many times have we heard that in our American history? The thing is that I had to stop and think, Hayward's been working at this for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Hayward's literally been working at this for 5 years.
Yeah, it's only been a couple minutes for Wanda.
He's had no interruption, right? Yep. He's been tinkering with this. Oh, and it's $3 billion worth of vibranium. Yep. Buddy's been doing numbers because he's had some options, right?
Which lets me know why he was in such a hurry to get Monica out of the building. It was twofold. I don't need her here, and I need her to see what's going on. I need to find out what's up with Vision in this bubble.
So my question is,
how is he tracking that Vision, by the way?
Did Maria Rambeau know any of this? I want to know, did Maria Rambo leave any clues for Monica? Think about it. Maria was dealing with cancer. She was dealing with her surgery. Then there's the snap. She died 3 years after the surgery. 3 years after the snap. So in her 3 years, did she go check the office? This is her. The Sword is her baby. It's Monica and Sword. Monica's gone. She had to have spent time there. There's no way that there's no way that she passed the torch on to Hayward.
And you said,
there's something.
You mean Maria?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Monica.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
There's no way that Maria passed the torch to Hayward. There is something more sinister going on about Maria's death. And I think we'll find out in Captain Marvel.
Okay, I see you.
So, she goes down, and Hayward says to us in episode 6, I think, right? That she stole the body.
Yeah.
He lies. Okay? You know, it might be February, but Hayward, July. Because she did not.
He might have said it earlier than that.
To Vision. He might have. She goes to Vision, and she touches his face. And she says, I don't feel you. Right? So, now it's the grief of, I dealt with you dying for like a few seconds, right? Because then I was dusted. I now wake up, I have to come find your body. And I've always felt you because we're connected via the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
I don't feel you anymore. You are not in this vessel. I'm out. She gets in her car.
Bruh, that's the part that behooves me.
What?
She drives a Buick, yo. I said Scarlet Witch drives a Buick.
Well, Wanda drives a Buick. Wanda, you can fly.
Wanda? Right. That was my thing.
Shout out to Peter Pan. He can fly. Is the Peter Pan? Comment down below. But
Wanda really went outside and hopped in a Buick.
She is not accepting or embracing her powers.
And
now,
there was an envelope.
There was an envelope.
On the seat.
Oh my God. So, if you remember back in the beginning of Infinity War, Vision says, you know, we can't be on the run forever. And they're having this very sweet, intimate moment where they're game planning things. And it almost seems very proposal-like, right? And then they get interrupted. Well, Vision was working on something. And it is on the seat of the car.
Yeah. Which, Wanda starts driving. She drives to Westview, which blows my mind because the cop said there's no such thing as Westview.
Yes. So,
and it has people in it. I mean,
so here's the
neighborhood.
Thing. Right. So this was a plot twist for me, right? Because in the first episode they said there is no Westview. She's driving to New Jersey, driving to Westview because she has a deed, right?
Yeah.
From Vision. We know that these people aren't, Agatha might have messed with them, but these people aren't, in control of or hired by Agatha. So she's driving in, we see her, right? We see Dottie's husband, which I always forget his name, guys. Comment down below if you remember. We see Mrs. Hart.
Yep.
We see Dennis the mailman delivering pizza.
Yep.
Wanda is looking at all of these things, right? What if Vision created this? What if Vision, pre-snap, created Westview for him and Wanda?
That's a good thought. I like that.
Because she gets to the address.
That's crazy.
And it's simply a foundation. Yep. So he was having a house built.
Being built, yep.
And you can tell them what the deed says, because I can't, guys, without crying. Yes, that's right. This was like an emotional episode for me.
Hold up.
Are you going to cry? Go ahead, cry for me.
What will did
cry.
It say?
It said, I can't.
So it says to grow old in, and it just says V inside of the heart on the deed, right on top of the property that he created, built, getting built, whatever.
So Wanda hits bottom.
Wanda's name's on it and the vision.
Right.
Yep.
So Wanda's like, this is it. Like, I think, you know, all in all, Wanda has been a trooper, right? And this is where Marvel is so good at creating anti-heroes that we love, at creating villains that we understand. You know, that tender moment where, you know, Agnes in the beginning is saying, just help me. I don't know how to do this. And being shot down, you feel for her. So when she's there and she...
To piggyback on that real quick, though, the one that got me the most was Killmonger.
Yes.
Yeah, throw me in the ocean with my ancestors.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Marvel brings such a depth and such a human touch to every single one that you feel for them. So when Wanda falls to her knees, we fall down.
But she get up.
She falls to her knees. And at that point, all of her power just completely comes to. Very similar to Monica Rambeau as she was going through the hex. Monica Rambeau's life, this is your life, right? She's going through it and she's pushing through. Wanda says, you are going to give me my happily ever after. And then the house starts to build. Guys, I think they could have ended it there and I would have been in shambles. But then you hear the boys. So you hear Billy and Tommy.
Well, first, before we get into that, when she has her little explosion of power on the one billboard.
When she's driving through,
Nah, not when that's when her power does the little burst after she builds the house.
Yes.
The one billboard I seen on the side of the building was the lady snapping. It was the Lagos.
It was a cleaning. Yeah, so snap. Yeah. Cleaning Lagos style, Lagos style. Yeah. So
have it done in a snap.
Yes.
That was there. The movie, which I'm gonna have to figure this out. You know, comment down below. Let us know. But the movie was Tannhauser Gate. Put the fun in dysfunction. Or the N had a number 1 next to it as the replacement for the I. Yeah. So is it puts the fun 1 in dysfunction?
Puts Wanda in dysfunction? I don't know.
Yeah. And below that, then that changed to Big Red. Big Red was playing and Kidnapped was playing.
Yes. Yep. So and Big Red, shout out to that gum. I think I mentioned it in one of our other videos. I can't even find it, but I used to love that. And I don't even know how people had taste buds after that Big Red chew. But Big Red gum was nothing but cinnamon. Anyway, the Big Red almost made me think of Big Mad, right? Wanda is Big Mad. And not even mad. She's just hurt.
Yeah, I just feel it's a play on Scarlet Witch. Yes. She's red. Yeah, Big Red.
But she still doesn't know who she is. Right? So she hears Tommy and Billy, so she runs outside. And this is where we see Agatha with the boys. And she's got them roped around with her purple magic. Okay? So we don't know where Pietro or Monica are at this point.
Well, Pietro is imaginary, right? So is Pietro even there anymore?
I don't know.
Right, we don't
know. Right, because we were left as Snooper's gonna snoop.
Yeah.
Right? Which, Corey brought up a great point. I took it as he was saying Snooper's gonna snoop in episode 7. And check out our review.
That was my man Tyrone in the comments. Tyrone dropped this gem on us.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, so, big shout out to you, Tyrone. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The Snooper's gonna snoop, I took it as him talking to Monica, but as Tyrone pointed out, he very well could have been talking to us, the Marvel fan base, because we always watch end credit scenes.
After 6 episodes.
After 6 episodes, if not, we still were conditioned to wait. And boom, they did not disappoint. Yeah. And boom, they hit us with Snooper's gonna snoop. So big shout out to Tyrone for that.
Double entendre.
Yes.
They got us.
So you see her with the boys with very little magic to hold the boys back, which the boys themselves are magical. So I'm not sure what was going on there.
And now they're outside, so everybody's magic should be in full effect.
And she's going at Wanda because she said, you don't even know who you are. You have all this magic, and this is where she says, but you're making breakfast for dinner.
He reminds me of Thanos. I don't even know who you are.
Right. So very, very much so. That's true. That might be. That's true. And so she's going at her, and then she says, you are able to yield, an enormous amount of magic. You aren't even supposed to be. You are one of mythical proportions. Mm-hmm. You are the Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. I'm surprised she didn't turn green when she said that, because the envy, she was oozing jealousy, because
I think she at one point
wanted to be.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. So she lost her coven. She lost her mother. She had lost so much because she had grabbed the book thinking that she was the one.
And everything is probably tough for her to do.
Yes.
And now she sees Wanda. It's super easy for Wanda to do it.
Here's the thing, Agatha Harkness. You are not the one. You are the one to train the one. And that's a humbling experience, right? Mm-hmm. Not everyone is that person, but you are supposed to coach and train, but you took it the wrong way because you wanted to be that person.
Yeah, you want to be that. Yeah, it kind of parallels my life.
So, I don't get it, guys.
I'm the young up-and-comer. It could be some...
I don't get it, guys.
I mean, people need to train me.
Listen.
You ain't the one.
Okay, Padawan.
I'm the one.
So, you had her reveal her name as Scarlet Witch. Boom. That's it.
And then the biggest villain of the show wasn't even there.
Right.
Please stand by.
And then, end scene credits. We've got the heifer Hayward. He's so annoying.
With the scroll, because you still think
with the scroll. She's definitely a scroll. Like, if you watch episode 7 again, she's absolutely a scroll. But you see him say, because at one slither of the beginning, he says, hey, we're still going to launch today. And you don't know exactly what we're going to launch. But then you get to this scene. And, guys, he has Vision's body. And next to Vision's body is the drone that Wanda threw back. With Wanda's magic.
Energy on it.
He said all this time.
Which is weird because I've never seen Wanda's energy stay on something.
She's at the next level
at this point.
At this point, she's next level. And so he like goes on his little rant about how long he's been trying, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. This whole time we're seeing fake Vision. Fission. Right?
Fission.
We're seeing Fission come to life.
No, that's the real Vision, though, low-key. She got Fission.
No, she does not have Fission.
She created Fission.
You know what, then it's double Vision, okay? Yeah. So we
got double Vision.
So that's double Vision starts to come to life, and then boom, we're out.
Yeah, we out.
Until Friday.
Until next time.
I cannot take this. Guys,
but to remember, me, though, if she has, I guess she understood at that point when she made her house and all that stuff. I think she understood if she could destroy Vision, she could also make him.
Yes.
If she could destroy the Mind Stone, she could also make it, I guess. Maybe she's here to make the stones again.
Well, she is a woman. And as women, we create, we rebuild, we nurture. Just what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this, guys. It wasn't an hour long. Technically,
it was
next
49
week,
minutes, you said.
Yeah, 49 minutes. Technically, next week is supposed to be the last episode. They have too many loose ends to wrap up. I am going to predict that as the heart was on the 10th on the calendar of episode 7, I'm going to predict that they will give us a 10th episode.
10, yeah.
I think we need it, guys.
You definitely do.
Overall, how do you think this episode?
So, at first, I didn't like it.
Very WandaVision of you.
But the more I read into what's going on, it's a solid episode. It just didn't go where I thought it was going to go after episode 7. You know what I mean? You see you see Monica.
Yeah.
With Pietro.
Listen.
And I was like, oh, episode 8 is about to go down with a rumble. We rumbling now.
Guys, I think it did not disappoint. I will say this much. I love this WandaVision community. Like, you know, again, the comments, you know, thank you everyone for leaving the comments down below and interacting. We have people that we interact with on our Instagram page. Huge shout out to @Hillary_Michelle. I know that she's delving into this and really going in depth. So really and truly love everyone for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video. Share it with your friends. I know it's a great conversation piece. WandaVision just keeps the hits coming.
Yes, it really does.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I know. I mean, Friday to Friday is the longest week ever.
Yeah. First of all,
shout out to Joy.
You know, yeah, really and true.
She said the same thing.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing, guys. This takes you back to, like, you know, back in your high school days and you were like working and, you know, paycheck to paycheck. Like, this is probably more painful than paycheck to paycheck.
Yo, yeah.
This is like serious stuff. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, guys,
keep tripping.
Bye.